ever feel like hearing the news is like a fire hose to the face of tragedy? One of my biggest struggles is that feeling of helplessness that can come when hearing of all of these terrible things that are going on in the world. And so today we're going to talk about what you can do that's not sticking your head in the sand, but that's also not requiring that you carry the weight of the world on your shoulders. And so, in that, let me quit this VC because it's going to keep booping at us. So, in that, my loves, I was reading about the looting in Chicago, the rioting in Chicago, and I went to graduate school in Chicago. And so I wake up this morning and I just have this strange feeling that something is just a little bit off. And I get on the news and I read about this. And then I read about a terrible earthquake that happened in the Carolinas, and it can just feel like it's too much. And how can one person bear it all? How can we, as a human race, as a compassionate people, bear it all? And so I want to talk to you about two things today that I do that helps me when I'm feeling like there's weights on my ankles and I can't stay afloat. So the first thing is to consume media wisely. And this means don't let somebody else curate it for you and just dump it on you. Don't just scroll mindlessly. Don't have YouTube on in the background of your day. Don't start your day immediately with unmitigated news. And make sure that when you're looking at your news that you do it in a way that feels productive and safe for you. So, for example, some news sources, they don't censor images and graphics. And so if that's really troubling for you and you want the information and you want the data, but the graphics and the visuals are really upsetting, then get the information, become empowered with wisdom and knowledge, but do so in a way that feels productive for you. And so select your wise news sources and consume media in a way that gets you the information without becoming upsetting and disturbing in ways that are just superfluous and upsetting. And the second thing is that when the information comes into us, it's going to bounce around, and either somebody is going to dissociate from it because it's just too much and we shut down, or we're going to think about it and it's going to stir around in there and become a sticky thought. Sticky thought is something that our brain does when it can't let go of a thought. And something can become sticky if it's really important, if it's really emotionally activating, or it can become sticky if it feels like we need to do something about it. And so if you have this emotion, this feelings, this data that's going in, and the brain is getting sticky, and it's an indication that we need to do something about it. And so creating an open loop where you can take that information and turn it into something actionable will be incredibly helpful for you. And so what does that look like? How can I turn something tragic into something actionable, especially if I feel really disempowered? If there's an earthquake, what can I do? I can't undo the earthquake. If there's a riot, I can't undo the riot. But there are ways that each of us has a unique voice where we can make a difference, and that's really important. So, for example, in Grand Rapids is where I spend my summers, there was a lot of rioting and looting, and then all of these people gathered together, and by the middle of the next day, everything in downtown Grand Rapids was cleaned up. They had a bunch of things protecting the broken glass, and there's amazing art being done on these windows, and they just look so beautiful, and they bring the community together. And so sometimes that means that getting your feet on the ground is what you need to do to take that data and make it actionable for you, where you can make a difference. Other people use their social media platforms to speak truth, to advocate, to share knowledge, to give wisdom. Or maybe it's supporting somebody, whether it's having a phone call with them or writing a blog or holding space in whatever way you uniquely can to that community. It's amazing. And then some people will donate funds, other people donate time, some people man, woman power. And so try to strategize when you're consuming information. Allow yourself to honor it, hold that space, feel the grief, notice it, allow it to come up, but then figure out what you can do. How can you direct that energy and keep that momentum going in a way that is powerful and empowering and productive? And so when you read the news, number one is make sure that you go to a curated website that you can get the information on your terms. And number two is to make sure that you feel like you're able to keep that momentum going and that it's actionable. And so I want to let you know that we have a free Anxiety Freedom Warriors group. If you need support, if you need somewhere to go to process and talk about things, we're here for you. Again, it's totally free, no obligations. It's just a way to create intentional communities so that we can make a difference for each other. I'll make sure to get that link in the comments below. And again, this is a spontaneous video, and so I'll be here every Wednesday and every Friday, 1 o'clock Eastern. I'm Dr. Nicole. And so check back. And if there's anything that we can do to support you, leave us a DM, put a comment in the below. And if there are ways that you're contributing and making a difference and you want to share with us so that we can share your information and support you, let us know. We're all in this together. I love you. I honor you. And so I'll be back on Wednesday, and let me know how we can support you, loves. Take care.